I want you to picture two apartments. Same city, same neighborhood, almost the same rent. The first one belongs to a person who earns $95,000 a year. Walk inside, and here's what you see. A 75-inch television mounted on the wall, a $4,000 leather sectional, a kitchen full of appliances, half of them still in the box, closets stuffed with clothes, tags still on, a spare bedroom that's basically become a storage unit. This person checks their bank account with a knot in their stomach. 2 missed paychecks from a full-blown crisis. Now, the second apartment. Same street. This person earns $52,000 a year, almost half as much. Walk inside, and you notice something different. Space. A modest couch. A reasonably sized TV. A kitchen with exactly the tools that actually get used. A closet where every piece of clothing gets worn. The spare room? It's actually a bedroom. This person checks their bank account and feels calm. 18 months of expenses saved. 20% of every paycheck going straight into investments. Same neighborhood. The person earning almost half as much has nearly 10 times the financial security. This isn't a story about income. It's a story about the hidden relationship between stuff and money, a relationship almost nobody is ever taught to see. The first person isn't reckless with money in any obvious way. No gambling, no secret debts, no expensive addictions. They just slowly built a lifestyle that quietly demands every single dollar they make just to keep it running. The second person discovered something that changed everything for them. Owning less doesn't mean living worse. It means living on purpose. And living on purpose creates something most high earners never experience: financial margin. Today, I'm walking you through 10 rules, the exact mental shifts that separate people who always have money from people who never do, no matter what they earn. This isn't about deprivation. It's about understanding something most people never calculate. Every single object you own has a cost that keeps running long after you paid for it. Here's the concept that will change how you look at every purchase for the rest of your life. Everything you own costs money twice. The first cost is obvious: the price tag, the number on the receipt. The second cost is the one almost nobody calculates, and it's often bigger than the first. Take a treadmill sitting unused in the corner of a bedroom. That machine needs space, and space costs money, roughly $30 to $50 per square foot every year in most cities. A treadmill, with clearance room included, eats up about 20 square feet. That's $600 to $1,000 a year just to store a machine that's mostly become an expensive clothes rack. Or think about a boat sitting in a driveway. Winterizing, cleaning, registration, insurance, repairs. Industry estimates put annual upkeep at around 10% of the boat's value. A $30,000 boat costs about $3,000 a year, even if it never touches water. And there's a cost most people never even think about: mental energy. Every object you own takes up a small slice of your attention. It needs cleaning, organizing, insuring, worrying about. Researchers have found that visual clutter raises cortisol levels and makes it harder for your brain to focus. Your stuff is quietly stressing you out in ways you don't consciously notice. And then there's the biggest hidden cost of all: opportunity cost. Every dollar tied up in a possession is a dollar that isn't invested. $15,000 spent on a home gym could have been $15,000 in index funds, quietly growing into $50,000 or more over 15 years. You didn't just buy a home gym. You bought a home gym instead of future financial freedom. Minimalists aren't avoiding things because they hate nice stuff. They avoid things because they've actually done the math and they've decided most things aren't worth what they truly cost. Rule 1. Calculate cost per use. Before buying anything, minimalists ask one question: how many times will I realistically use this? Divide the total price by that number. That's the cost per use, the only honest measure of value. A $200 jacket worn twice costs $100 per wear. A $400 jacket worn 200 times costs $2 per wear. The expensive jacket is actually the cheaper one. That kitchen gadget you'll use twice a year? At $300, that's $150 every time you use it. But a $2,000 mattress used every night for 10 years? That's about 55 cents a use. Extraordinary value for something that touches your health every single day. The math cuts straight through marketing, emotion, and social pressure. Rule 2, the replacement test. Walk through your home and look at what you own. Ask yourself honestly, if this disappeared today, would I actually spend money to replace it? Would you really buy another fondue set? Replace that bread maker gathering dust? Repurchase the clothes you haven't worn in 18 months? For most items, the honest answer is no. These things exist in your life through inertia, not intention. They cost you space and attention without giving anything back. Minimalists sell what has value, donate what someone else could use, and let go of the rest, and the psychological weight that lifts is almost impossible to describe until you feel it. Rule 3. Never upgrade out of boredom. Here's a pattern you'll see in people who earn great money but have nothing to show for it. They upgrade things that work perfectly fine, simply because they're bored, or because something newer exists. The phone works, the car runs great, the couch is comfortable. None of that matters. A newer version exists, so it feels outdated. These upgrades feel like progress. They're actually wealth, quietly leaving your bank account. The average person replaces their phone every 2 to 3 years, often while the old one works fine. Over 30 years, that habit alone costs $30,000 to $50,000. Across every category where upgrade culture operates, the lifetime cost easily crosses $200,000. Minimalists define functional clearly. An item is replaced when it genuinely fails, not when boredom shows up. Rule 4. Engineer friction. Human behavior follows the path of least resistance. If spending is easy and saving is hard, you'll spend. Minimalists flip that. They remove saved credit cards from shopping sites. They set a 24-hour rule before any non-essential purchase. They delete shopping apps. They unsubscribe from promotional emails. Meanwhile, they make saving automatic transfers that happen on payday, before the money is even seen. Willpower runs out by the end of a long day. Environment doesn't. Someone who deleted the shopping app simply can't impulse buy in that tired, stressed moment. That 24-hour rule alone kills roughly 70% of impulse purchases. Most desires fade if you don't act on them immediately. Rule 5. Count your possessions. This sounds obsessive until you actually try it. How many shirts do you actually own? Most people guess low and discover they own 3 or 4 times more than they thought. Once you know you own 47 shirts, buying a 48th feels different. The absurdity becomes visible. Minimalists set real limits. 30 clothing items, 15 books at a time, a 1-in, 1-out rule. Limits create friction, and friction reduces buying. Rule 6. Rent or borrow before you buy. Most things people buy get used intensely for a few weeks, and then almost never again. Want to try camping? Rent gear for the first few trips. Curious about kayaking? Rent it a few times before buying one. This does 2 things. It reveals whether your interest is real or just a passing spark, and it teaches you exactly what you actually need. So if you do buy, you buy the right thing, not a guess. Garages across the country are quiet museums of abandoned hobbies, ski gear, camera equipment, instruments from a band that played 2 shows. Minimalists test the interest before they own the equipment. Rule 7. The lifestyle multiplier effect. Every possession pulls other possessions behind it. A boat needs a trailer, a hitch-equipped vehicle, storage, maintenance supplies, safety gear. A pool needs chemicals, covers, furniture, landscaping. A motorcycle needs gear, storage, and often a truck to haul it. A $5,000 purchase can quietly become an $8,000 or $12,000 one once the full ecosystem is counted. And the reverse is just as true. Selling the boat doesn't just remove its price, it removes an entire category of ongoing costs. Rule 8. Define enough before you earn more. Here's the trap that catches high earners constantly. They never decide what enough looks like, so their spending simply expands to match every raise. People earning $300,000 often feel just as financially stressed as people earning $80,000 because their expectations grew right alongside their income. Minimalists decide, in advance, what home is enough, what car is enough, what wardrobe is enough. Then they earn toward that number instead of constantly moving the goalpost. Someone who defines enough at $60,000 of spending and then starts earning $150,000 builds wealth at an extraordinary rate because that $90,000 gap flows straight into savings and investments. Rule 9. Measure wealth by optionality. The conventional view measures wealth by what you have. Minimalists measure it by what they can choose. Can you leave a job that's destroying your mental health? Take 6 months off for a family emergency? Move cities for a relationship? Start a business without guaranteed income? Those choices are only available to people who've built real margin between what they earn and what they spend. Someone earning $200,000 but spending $195,000 has almost no freedom at all. Someone earning $80,000 but spending $45,000 has enormous freedom. Every purchase isn't just an exchange of money for an object, it's a trade of future freedom for present possession. Sometimes that trade is worth it. Often it isn't. Rule 10. Cyclical decluttering. Most people who try minimalism do one giant purge, feel amazing for a few weeks, and then slowly drift right back to where they started within 2 years. Minimalists avoid this by doing small, regular reviews, instead, a weekly glance at what's coming in, a monthly check on one category, a quarterly look at overall trends. Removing 3 items a week is sustainable. Removing 300 items once a year feels overwhelming and usually gets postponed forever. Here's what nobody tells you about minimalism and money. The relationship runs both ways. Owning less creates more money, but having more money also makes owning less feel natural. When your savings are strong and your investments are growing, the urge to accumulate quietly fades. The need for security gets met by your bank balance instead of your belongings. Spend less, save more, feel secure, want less. Each turn of that cycle reinforces the next. The opposite cycle is just as powerful and just as destructive. Spend everything, feel insecure, spend again to feel better, and repeat until something breaks. The choice between these two cycles shapes your financial life far more than your income ever could. That second apartment, the one with the person earning $52,000 and 18 months of savings, wasn't built on a big paycheck. It was built on clarity about what actually matters. The other apartment, $95,000 a year, 2 paychecks from crisis, belongs to someone who never questioned the assumption that more stuff equals a better life. Both of these lives are available to you, no matter what you currently earn. The question is simple. Do you want to own your possessions, or are you comfortable letting your possessions own you? The math makes the answer pretty clear.